The depression got very intense to a point I started being suicidal. I would go a whole week without actually having a conversation with someone. I actually did some other second attempt of trying to take my life, and that time round I took some tabs. So that night I was feeling terrible down. That night I was like, you know what, God, I'm so tired. Please help me. I don't wake up the next day. I remember that was my only prayer I had. And then I slept. I was at campus and this thought came back of one day to kill myself. And I was broke.
Our today's guest opens up about her childhood journey, loneliness, and depression. A powerful story of pain, resilience, and healing. This is Muka Podcast.
Thank you so much, Muka Podcast, for hosting me. My name is Mbavas Jacqueline, and I'm very glad to be here.
If you could take us back in your childhood, how was life look like?
I didn't grow up with both my two parents. I was separated from my mom when I was 5. And I started staying with my dad, my step siblings, my cousins. It was a bit lonely because, you know, when you don't grow up with your mother figure, many times I felt so alone growing up, much as I had kids around, but I felt so alone. Most African parents, let me say this, the kind of love they give is provisional love. If he has paid fees for you, you have roof over your head, and you have eaten, and what else? He feels like he has done his best, and he really did his best, I would say.
Okay, at what age? At what age did you started feeling lonely or a bit different?
Around 7, I think.
7 years.
Yeah, I started feeling like, why am I so alone? You know, I remember I never used to have friends at school. I remember I had one best friend in my P3. She repeated the class.
Yes.
So when she repeated, I didn't get any other friend until I finished P7. I went through P4 after P7 with no close friend. I didn't have any close friend.
How was that journey during that time of loneliness from when your friend repeated class?
It was a bit tricky. You know, I was young and all these things didn't add up. Like, it was a lot was like happening. You know, I remember I reached at campus.
Yes.
When we reached campus in my year 2, everything was so overwhelming because I used to have moments where I would really feel so alone. But in my year 1, I had a roommate. She would help me sometimes. I never used to feel that much alone.
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, when you're at campus, this thing of wanting to be like independent, and I made a very quick decision of staying alone. By that time, I even got a job. I remember it was like, what? School? Like, I really didn't have time. Plus, I changed my program at campus from day where I had at least some friends, because by the time I joined campus, most people were on day program. And I switched to weekend. So I was the happiest.
Was that time when you started transforming from loneliness?
Oh, it was from loneliness to depression. I didn't have people around me. It was very hard for me to open up to people or to anyone. And like, I told them that, you know, I'm not feeling okay because I don't know.
When you tried to share with people around you, what were their bit of response?
I remember I had one friend I used to call. Like, anytime I could call this person, I'll be like, hi, I'm not feeling myself. I feel sad. I feel down. And people have their own different ideas. It was very terrible. That was at campus in my second year. As my second year had just begun. So the depression got very intense to a point I started being suicidal. I remember I used to leave work late. So it was pressure from work, pressure from school, and I'm alone. I'm not seeing people around. Like, I would go a whole week without actually having a conversation with someone I feel close to.
Yes.
And I reach a point, I'll be in my room and I'm like, why do I feel like this? Like, why am I feeling so much pain? Because there's no way I was going to come and talk to someone and I'm like, explain how I'm feeling because I really could not put it in words. So most times I'll be like, why am I feeling like this? And then one time this thought came into my head, I was like, are you not tired of feeling the way you're feeling? Maybe you should just put an end to all of this. And I remember one time I was very sad, very down, and I had packets of tablets in my room. I I remember holding them. I wanted to take them, all of them. Yeah. And because I wanted to take them, I remember I had a test at school. We had tests. Yes. And I had not read. I not prepared. And I was dodging classes. I'm not prepared. I have work. I have school. I don't have anyone to talk to.
Yes. No.
Seriously, everything was super overwhelming. And I just wanted to put an end to what I was feeling. So I was like, you know what? Let me take these tabs. Then I go at campus. If I faint from there or I die, I don't know. And then I got this other voice in my head which was like, no girl, you don't need to do this. I was like, show up at campus. If you feel terrible, like you can't handle what you're feeling, come back and take these pills. So I was like, okay. I showed up at campus. I did that test and I came back home. And I was like, no, I'm not taking these talks today. So that was my very, very first attempt of trying to take my own mate.
How did you think of overcoming that thing? Because it was a bit terrible, Some they think about putting an end to their life and they end up doing. So what was the positive in you that helped you to overcome that?
It was that throughout this whole journey.
Yes.
Because I remember after I actually did some other second attempt of trying to take my life. And that time round, I took some tabs. I remember I had these Piltons. They say they are sleeping pills, something like that. I had to buy them so that they can help me, like at least dozo run away from what I was feeling. So that night, I was feeling terrible, terrible down. I remember taking
It still was it still of part of depression?
yeah. I think because I remember I was feeling so much pain and feel like I don't know how to say what I was really feeling.
Yeah.
But I remember I had tabs of Fluffit. You know how strong it was, Fluffit, and they recommend you to take one tab. I took 4. And I took other 4 Piltons. And I drank alcohol. I think I took around 3 bottles with the tabs. And then it was like, you know what, God, I'm so tired. I just, please help me. I don't wake up the next day. I remember that was I remember that was my only prayer I had. And then I slept. But the part was super surprising was I woke up the next day feeling okay. Not sure that I had taken all those pills. I woke up feeling strong because I knew if I woke up the next day, I would feel very weak. But I woke up fine. And I remember going to the salon to unflange my dreads. I had dreadlocks. And that's when this lady told me. I didn't really share my story to her.
Yes, but
I said that it would be like, these days I'm not feeling well. I feel sad. I feel alone. And then she was like, I've been feeling the same. I've been feeling lonely. I have thought of killing myself as well, but I went to this church. They prayed for me and I stopped getting those thoughts and feelings. It's like, fine. It's like maybe I need, because I had tried everything. I had tried drinking. I had tried, like I literally was so desperate to be okay. So I did anything that was there that would really make me feel fine. So when this girl told me she went to church, I was like, sure, I think I should also try church.
yeah.
So I went to church the next day and there was an overnight. So these people, they were praying and I was there in the congregation. I was like, please, pastor, look at me and say something about me. But then the man didn't say anything about me. I literally went back home and I was crying. I was like, really? I'm feeling all this pain and this person couldn't even notice. And so that I remember it was a Friday. That's when the overnight was there. On Saturday, I went home. But like, at home, they used to see me, I'm fine. Like, I never used to show anyone that I'm not fine or I'm not feeling myself. Because I was really happy. Like, during all that session, that period of depression, I was the happiest. The people used to see me. If I told them that I went through a depression, they wouldn't believe it.
They wouldn't believe.
They prepared because I was always happy. So my friend called me. She was like, am I coming to church? There was this pastor. He prays for people and all that stuff. And she was like, you need to come. I was like, okay. So I left home. I went back to church. And I remember this pastor was, these people, they say they are spiritual. So they be seeing what's going on in people's lives and they be telling them this. So I was literally in the congregation. I'm like, please God, let this man tell me what's really troubling me. Because I really want to know. I didn't know what was making me feel all that pain. So this pastor didn't say anything. And I was like, okay, God, what's really happening? What's really going on? Why is it that, okay, I've showed up at church and no one is actually helping me out? And I got his contact. I was like, you know what, let me get his contact. Maybe I will call him, share. So I got his contacts and like next week was a time when I think it was 1 week to exams.
Yes.
I had not been attending classes.
You've been not.
I've been dodging.
Yes.
I've been like, I don't even know. So I think 4 days to our first paper, my phone got lost. And that's where all my notes were. I didn't have any hard copies. I had just had soft copies. Everything was on the phone. And the day was like, God, like, I really was like, what's really happening?
Problems were mounting.
Seriously, I had not been attending classes. I was like, okay, I need to focus in this 1 week, much as I'm not feeling okay, and read for my papers because I had to do papers. My dad is paying fees. I don't think parents been wanting to know that I had the first show and I'm going through this because I wouldn't even put it in words of how I was feeling. So my phone got lost. I didn't have because I remember I had not yet even finished fees that semester. I was like, you know what, I'm tired. I was at campus and this thought came back of one day to kill myself. So I was at campus with my friend who was seated, everyone was on their phone, this is reading, guys clearing, getting examination cards. My phone is lost. I haven't cleared. And now I started feeling more alone and more confused. So I had this thought that I should go back to my hostel, to my room, lock my door, get a razor, and cut my wrist. So and another, like, I had this thought in mind, and then another thought came up, and I was like, I remember I got a number of this pastor. Maybe I should, like, call him. So I called him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I can see. If you're not careful with this, you're going to actually kill yourself.
After sharing with the pastor.
No, I just called him. I was like, I'm not feeling well. I've not been feeling well. So, like, he's literally the first person I'm trying to tell you that I'm not feeling well.
Yes.
And he was like, yeah, I can see it. If you don't act on it very fast, you're actually going to kill yourself. Not even say that word to him. So he was like, I can't do counseling on phone. You have to reach out to me in person. And I was like, so where can I find you? I was like, you know where Kidura is? Deep in the village. I don't even remember the name. So I was like, you have to bring me here. And I was broke. So, broke. I didn't even have money. Because I remember by that time I was even 14 to campus. But why I'm saying it is God through all this, where I was working.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like volunteering. They used to give me allowances at the end of the month. So they had delayed. So I was like, I had told this person, I don't have money. Let me see if I can get transport to bring me where you are. And I get a notification on my small phone because my friend had actually helped me with her phone.
Yes.
So I got a notification that I had gotten money on my lane. I was like, oh, I'm bored. So I got on a border to a place I had no idea.
You had no idea about.
I had no idea where I was going.
It was deep village.
And I'm going to meet someone I literally don't know. I just met a day. And I was like, I just went. By that time I just wanted to feel fine. For real.
Yes.
So I reached there and this man prayed with me and encouraged me a little bit, gave me Bible verses, said you go home, you need to fast for 3 days. And I went back home. And I did the praying, but fasting was hard. For when I'm stressed, I have this thing. When I'm stressed, I eat a lot. I eat a lot of junk. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So fasting was very hard. I don't remember fasting. So a few days later, like 2, by that time I was a little bit calm. Yeah, after the prayers, and then I started praying for myself. I started feeling calm, and like the pain was kind of easing out, I would say. I got a call from that same pastor. I had a dream. No, he did have a dream. He told me he got a voice from God that God is telling him to be with me so that he helps me throughout this depression thing. I think he wanted to, use me or something like that. I don't know. And I remember asking that man, I was like, am I only supposed to get that voice? And was like, so you think I'm lying or something? And I was like, no, I believe if God talks to you, he's supposed to talk to me as well.
Yes, me, you are ready to me.
Yeah. And he was like, no, I'm the one telling you. Do you know what happened to Jonah in the Bible? I was like, yeah, I know. You know, the Jonah who was swallowed by a fish. And then I was like, okay, if whatever happens to you, it is up to you. I have told you a solution of what is going to help you out of your situation. So if things get worse than they are right now, don't come back to me. I've told you. The only solution for you is you to be with me. Who should be helping me once actually to use me. So that, you know, the depression doesn't go fast. So the hope aid came back. At that time, I was trying to seek for help, and the person I was seeking help from was trying to use me instead of actually helping me. So I was like, you know what? Let me go to this other church. Because I grew up in church. I grew up with my aunt. She used to take me to these born again churches. So there is this church I decided to go to because we had one spirit from there. Yes. So this pastor was like, why do you want to kill yourself and all that stuff? He was like, we need to meet up and, you know, like, I have something to tell you. I was like, okay. So I met up with this man. He was like, yo, you know, the reason why you're going through all this is because of your mom. I was like, okay, how is my mom connected to all of this? She's like, you know, your mom, she has done a lot of stuff to other people and all that. So I was like, this thing is not connected at all. Like, how is it that I'm feeling the way I'm feeling because of my mom? It didn't make sense to me. So she was like, you need to go and apologize to your stepmom, you apologize to your parents, go apologize to your dad. I was like, okay, what have I done? But I was not feeling well. I was desperate to do anything that would make me feel better. I had to go home and apologize. I remember that day I went home and I was like, I went to her and I was like, I'm sorry. She was like, for what? I was like, I don't know, for being a bad child. And I was literally crying because I really didn't know why I was apologizing. And she was like, you can't talk to me, what's wrong? So I think that's when I told her, like, how I wanted to kill myself and all that stuff. So I think she told my aunt, because the next day my aunt was like, you come and go to this fellowship where I fell from. So I went with her. I met this pastor, like their pastor who used to preach for them in that fellowship. I think that's when my journey of healing began from, because he helped me out.
You helped you a lot.
Yeah. He helped me figure out, like, because I remember he asked me this one question, do you know who you are? And I was like, yeah, I'm Jack. Do you know who you are? So by that time, I didn't know. I didn't even know what it meant, because I was like, who I am Jackie. Who else can I be? I didn't really get that. The reason why he asked me that question until today's, because yeah, I know who I am right now. I'm a childhood poet. I am loved. I'm happy and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you really didn't know that you're a child.
I didn't know. I only know me as my name. Who are you? I'm Jackie.
So after sharing the past, how was the healing journey? How did that journey start about the healing?
Oh yeah, I got sessions with him, like us meeting up sessions, and he used to encourage me to speak about what's actually going on in my mind. So the more I started opening up, the more I started healing. And I also encountered some lady in that same area. She was a therapist. Actually, I didn't know. I didn't even know how I met up with this lady. Like, I met up and she was like, you don't seem happy. I met her before I could meet the first. Just like, you don't seem happy. What's going on? Are you okay? The mere fact that she was literally the first person to ask me, are you okay? Like, I remember just crying. Well, you can always talk to me. So I had like two people now helping me out, that lady and then the pastor. So yeah, that's how, like, the journey of opening up, like, even if you're going through anything, I think the best solution most times is you need to speak, like talk to people.
Share people.
Yeah, sharing is very powerful. It really helped me a lot when I started opening up. And yeah, plus prayer. Oh, prayer is everything. Right now, I 100% believe that prayer is everything. Don't do this life without God, please. I can request because I've really seen God come through for me in ways I didn't expect. Yeah, because look at me right now. If you saw me in 2020 and you told me like, you know what, girl, you're going to be this happy, this great things are going to happen to you, I'll be like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, so I'm trying to learn more about myself right now. I'm doing things that are challenging me. I feel like my whole life I've just started living last year. Yeah, I've been the happiest since last year. And this year I'm trying. I'm still battling a little bit of loneliness somehow.
How was the journey, the time when you started to hear, being back to normal person?
Of course, life will be life. Life will always happen. I've learned to talk to my soul. When I'm not buoyed, I sit myself down. I'm like, girl, I know you're not buoyed, but we're going to be buoyed. I used to hear people saying like, happiness is a choice. You have to choose to feel happy. Yes. I will be like, these people are saying it like as if it's easy. It's not easy to choose happiness. No, back then when I was sad, but now it's easy. Before you hear, like, back in 2023, of course, I used to see these videos and people used to post about it. No, choose happiness. You have to choose to be happy. And I was like, really? Do these people know how hard it is to be happy? But seriously, looking at myself right now, where I've reached, especially emotionally, I feel like, wow.
Has done a breath work.
Breath is good. Healing is good. And healing is a journey. It's a journey. Like, no one has to tell you how fast you have to heal. It comes out natural. Everyone is going through something and they show it different. But all I can say is whoever is going through a moment of hardship, it could be depression. One of the first things you need to know is prayer is everything. Please, no matter how down you're feeling, kneel down, pray. Talk to that man up there like he's a close friend, seated maybe in front of you, and try opening up. It really helped me a lot when I started actually speaking of how I felt. It helped me a lot. So open up, pray, and yeah, the journey of healing is not a smooth one. There are going to be ups and downs. There are moments when I feel like, oh, I'm fine and I'm happy, and then I'm back down again. It took me a lot of time to feel the way I'm feeling right now. Yeah, so whatever you're going through, you're going to be okay. It gets better if you allow it. If you let it, always gets better.
But it's not easy to heal. Most especially, people out there are going through a lot when it comes to depression, loneliness, challenges of life are putting people here and there. But I hope the story you've had, it will transform your life. Learn, share with people, the people who are important, the people who are close, and the people who knows how to advise you positively to heal yourself. And remember, healing is a process. You have to go step by step. Now, I've been your host, Joseph Romanyoro, for God and my country.